You can't pay for forgiveness. Forgiveness is free. You can't pay for forgiveness. Forgiveness is a gift. In fact, you can't even reject someone's forgiveness. Why? Because forgiveness is what the person is giving from their heart to you. It is the way that person releases themselves from anger, bitterment, bitterness, punishment, condemning. All of those things are released when we forgive, and it can't be paid for. Often we talked about Jesus paid for our forgiveness. Think about that for a minute. That's a contradiction of terms. If I forgiveness means to remove the debt, forgiveness means to let go. Forgiveness means you owe me nothing. So if Jesus paid for our forgiveness, it wasn't forgiveness because it was paid for. If you owed me $100 and I said to you, I forgive you of that debt, well, then nobody can pay that debt because that debt has been forgiven. It doesn't even exist anymore. So when we say Jesus paid it all, Jesus didn't pay it all. Jesus forgave it all. I'll say that again. Jesus didn't pay it all. Jesus forgave it all. One of the things that ticked the religious people off during Jesus' day was that he was going around telling people, your sins are forgiven. Your sins are forgiven. A classic example was in Jesus was with some tax collectors. I believe that's over in Luke chapter 5. Jesus was sitting with some tax collectors, and no, wrong story. Jesus, this guy was brought down through the roof, and where Jesus was at, because they couldn't get him through the front door. He was in a bed. And Jesus told the guy, your sins are forgiven. This upset the preachers of that day because they said nobody can forgive sins but Jesus. And Jesus said, which is harder, to say your sins are forgiven or be healed? And Jesus said, to show you that I have power to do both, he said, take up your bed and walk. You be healed, and you also know that I have the power to forgive. Forgiveness cannot be paid for. Forgiveness can only be given.